Gamers! Today we're going to be looking at the Bandai Namco Flashback Blast. Man, that's long. Hey, this is Pac-Man if nobody knows. Alright. It has 8 built-in games and all of them are pretty good in my opinion. So hopefully this system will be good. I haven't tried it yet. I have no idea as of recording this. Sometimes I cheat and I've played it already when I do the unboxing, but not in this one. I don't know what I'm getting into. Alright, have looked at the box though. Top, not very exciting, says At Games, the symbol of quality. On the bottom there is a scan code. I have not scanned the scan code. However, ages 15 plus, don't give it to children because they'll eat it, I guess.
Electronics are tasty.
On the side, it says some great stuff. No wires! Included 2.4 gigahertz wireless controller gives you the range and peak performance you crave with up to 150 hours of battery life. Woohoo! 2.4 gigahertz, just about everything's on that band, isn't it? And there's only like 3, I think. Yeah, there's only 3 3 signals that don't bump into each other on the 2.4 gigahertz band. And everybody uses them. But anyway, we'll probably be okay. HD performance. HDMI dongle plugs right into your TV to power the fun. Superb 720p visuals and HD output mean these classics look and sound better than ever. I'm getting excited. Save, load. Save and load games on the fly. Pick up right where you left off. Okay, that is pretty darn cool. I'm kind of excited for that feature. Hope it works well. We'll see though. I'll definitely be demoing that feature. Alright, 8 built-in games. Dig Dug, great. Galaga, great.
Alexander the Great.
Galaxian, good. Mappy, great.
The Great Wall of China.
Pac-man, of course, great. Pac-mania, which is just great.
Great.
Sky Kid and xevious. More good games. There's a lot of good games. There's not pictures of every game here, but there's pictures of most of them. I suppose you want to see me unbox this, huh? Let's zoom back a little. There we go. And pretty typical At Games packaging. We've got the Blast stickers. Okay, they bothered to list that, but still, they're cute, I guess. Next, we have Blast. Explore more of the classic world. Wait, zoom in on these. Activision Flashback Blast. Atari Flashback Blast version 1. Atari Flashback Blast version 2. Atari Flashback Blast version 3. Legends Flashback Blast. Looks like it's got Space Invaders on it. And of course, the one we have. I'll be darned. Did I mention that there's instructions on the back of the poster? There are. Let's continue. 1 blast. 1 HDMI dongle with a micro USB adapter on it. What appears to be a tiny little LED light.
It is not an LED.
Oh, look at it. It says At Games on it. It's kind of cool. And let's see. I suppose this is supposed to plug into your TV. If you happen to have a USB port on your TV. If you don't, then you can steal one, I guess from your phone. I don't know. Anyway, there we go. Super exciting. Let's go back to this controller. And here is that Day-Glow Blast controller. It is very bright in person. The D-pad. It's unoffensive thus far. I've seen this kind of D-pad a few times and they worked okay. I mean, they weren't like super perfect or anything, but they worked okay. I noticed that the C button is wiggling when I move it around. Just like old Genesis controllers. Menu, rewind, start. X, Y, Z, A, B, C. How do these feel? The buttons are big enough. You've got concave buttons for ABC and convex buttons for XYZ. They're not terrible. They feel a lot like early Genesis controllers, to be honest with you. It's very light. There's an on-off switch on the top, and there is a space for batteries. I'm gonna assume these are AAA. Yep, 2 AAA batteries. This cable is super short. You're gonna have a really hard time if your TV does not have USB built into it. That's real short.
Let's set this up.
Easy to set up. Plug the dongle into an available HDMI port. Power the dongle with the included micro USB cable, which is tiny. Connect the cable to a USB port or USB AC adapter, which is not included. Set your TV to the selected HDMI port. Finally, connect the wireless controller and have a blast. They forgot the part where you add the batteries. Good thing we're not defusing a bomb here.
Alright, so here is the main menu of the Bandai Namco Flashback Blast. Could they please start putting less words on these? There's just way too much. Way too many words to say over and over again. But anyway, let's hit the about for a little bit more info. The first thing they mention on the info is the fact that you can buy a second controller if you would like to play 2 players with this. The wireless controller works pretty well. I'll say that for it. I haven't really had any problems with the controller, even though it feels kind of cheap. It really plays pretty decently. There's a Blast Club if you'd really like to join that, and some credits down at the bottom. Fortunately, I don't see instructions for each game, but that's fine. Alright, as you scroll through the screen, you can see each game is highlighted on the left. If I go to the right here, it goes to the next screen. Let's get started with Pac-Man. Note that it only has the choice of 1 player on this screen. I can't actually change from 1 player to 2 players. I suspect the select button is on the other controller, because this one only has start, rewind, and menu. And none of those buttons will change it. So it's kind of a bummer, to be honest with you. I wonder, I'm pretty sure you could play this with 1 controller, couldn't you, on the NES? So they may have purposely crippled it to do that. That's kind of annoying, to tell you the truth. Alright, but let's get playing. I could be wrong, though. Maybe they just used the Famicom version, and it always has 2 built in, so they usually didn't pass it. That's possible too. Alright, so as you can see, it plays well, it runs well. I'm pretty sure this is the NES version. Is anybody going to disagree with that? But anyway, I'm going to show you something. If I hit menu here, I can go and save or load a game. If I hit B, I can go to, there we go, I just loaded level 2. And that's my previously saved game. You can have 1 save per game, and that works really, really well. I like it a lot. Here's another thing that works really well. Except for placement. Wait. I just hit the rewind button. And now I can undo the horror that I did. Now I hit A to start again. That's really nice. Really good feature and well implemented on this. Better implemented than probably any other device I have seen this feature on. I can just rewind myself out of trouble. It's pretty good. Alright, it doesn't show very well on this, so I'm going to switch to another game and start showing you some of the negatives on here. Alright, so now we're going to look at Galaga, and I'm going to show you where one of the problems is. And I think you can probably see it now. If you are playing this in a small little window right now, you might want to blow it up so you can see. But there's some kind of anti-aliasing going on here, and it really kind of mucks up the graphics. It doesn't show up so much on Pac-Man, but it shows up really a lot on Galaga. So let's get started. Another thing I want you to notice too is, did you see how I hit that rewind button? I constantly hit the rewind button. Even though I've got several hours into this game system, I still accidentally hit it because that is where start is on every other game system. I don't know why they put the rewind button where the start is. I could guess that it's probably for speed of use, but since they don't have a real select button, they could have put on the select button and it would have been a lot smarter place. As it is, you got to reach up and over for the start button, and it's really stinking obnoxious. Now, other than that, you know, the game runs just fine. It plays really well. Again, you see no evidence of me fighting with the controller because there is none. The controller does work really well. Again, it feels kind of cheap, but it works really well. Alright, let's go try next game. Alright, here we have Pac-mania. In my opinion, all Pac-mania is good Pac-mania, but if I were to name my least favorite Pac-mania, it would be the NES version, and that's what we get here. It's not bad, necessarily. I think it's a good game. I think all the versions are a good game, but this is probably the least vibrant of them all, and I'm kind of surprised they used it on this. I mean, they've got proper licensing. Why not use the arcade version of this instead of the NES version? But anyway, it's not terrible. In fact, it's quite good. It's fun to play. The controller does its job admirably, and yeah, it's all pretty much good. Man, Rob, come on. I do love that jump ability up until about the, what, 3rd or 4th level where the ghosts start jumping too. And then it sucks. But still, it's good stuff, and it still has that save and load capability that the other games have, so it makes Pac-mania a little bit easier, and also you can do the big old rewind. So if I want to undo that mistake I made in eating that, I hate that it does that part though, that mistake I made in eating that ghost, well, look at that, I can actually make the same mistake over again. Not bad. Let's look at another game. Galaxian. Did you know that there's some people who like Galaxian better than Galaga? Luddites. Nah, I'm just kidding. To each their own, I say. Anyway, let's go into one player. This is yet another one of these games where that anti-aliasing looks just really nasty. It just looks blurry. And this isn't my recording equipment. I hooked this up to my big old huge TV in the living room, and it was the same way. It doesn't look as good as it should. And it kind of bothers me because it's something they added to the game. I mean, it didn't have anti-aliasing to begin with, so they actually turned it on and then didn't give an on-off switch for adjusting it. Yeah, that's kind of annoying. Alright, let's go look at something else. And here's Dig Dug. Set it to one player and go. This one also suffers a little bit from anti-aliasing, as you can see. Just makes things look a little bit less sharp and a little bit off. I realize some people think that this look is better, and I'm fine with that. It's okay, you know, that if you like it better that way. I just wish they would have given the option to turn it off and give it a little bit more pixely look, because it can look really, really clear on this monitor, or an LCD monitor, and it'll look nice, but now it's all blurred up. So, maybe I'm just a little whiny. Maybe, huh? By the way, how many people prefer Mr. Do over this? I think Mr. Do's pretty darn good. I like them both about equally, but I know there's some people who are really like huge on Mr. Do being the way better game. I'm curious. Tell me down below. And here we've got Mappy. This is a really good one for that rewind function, I've found. I make a lot of stupid mistakes in Mappy. I don't know if you do, but man, me all the time. I'm about to make one right now. Come on, get out of here. Here we go. This is a fun game. The controller works really well in it. Again, the graphics suffer just a slight bit from the anti-aliasing. Oh, and the fact that I play like crap is awful. I should have hit the rewind on that one. Come on. I really thought that was gonna open. Doing terrible. There we go. Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum. Bonus. Get out of here. Got it. Alright, on to the next game. And a word for the game I play absolutely worst on this video is Sky Kid. Oh, it's gonna be bad. I didn't play it much back in the day, and I don't really play it much now. But, that said, I like it being on this compilation because it adds a different kind of game to the mix. you know, adds a little bit of variety to things. And so, it's not a bad addition, to be honest. Sometimes the games on these compilations tend to be a little bit samey, so it's not bad to do something different. Plus, I love these loops. It's pretty cool, too. And it's a nice looking game, and it controls well. You see how smooth the controls are. Land here. Yeah! Done. And here we have Xevious, the last game on our list, and one of the better games in the selection. I like Xevious a lot. I always have. I liked it in the arcades. Again, you know, I keep saying it over and over again, but this suffers from that anti-aliasing quite a bit, especially on big screens, where it just kind of looks, I don't know, it just kind of looks goofy. Especially the edges. I mean, they just don't look right. But, you know, that's kind of what anti-aliasing does, so it makes edges not look right. No, it blurs the edges, so it supposedly would look better, but I just would argue on retro games, they don't. That said, as you can see, I am not fighting the controls at all. At all. Controls are working just fine. So give it some points for that, even though it's wireless. It's probably the first one of these with a wireless controller that I've liked. I mean, other than the really recent ones. I suppose this counts as those, though. Because the Atari wireless controller is pretty good, too. It's not bad at all. So anyway, yeah, this is pretty good. Let's go put out a verdict on this. Alright, so the final thoughts on the Bandai Namco Flashback Blast. Well, it's all over the board on this one. Let's start with the controller. The controller is a little bit on the wimpy side, but you know what? It works pretty darn well. Had no problem with the D-pad. All the button presses worked really well. The only problem that really annoyed the living crap out of me is that the start button is here. Wait, the start button is right here. And the rewind button is here. So what happens is, sometimes when you go to hit pause, you will hit the rewind button. That is a real pain in the butt. And it's something that I would have thought would have come out with some playtesting, you know? Just really odd. Other issues I had was the fact that the plug-in unit itself, which I've got down here, I needed to put in an extension because it would block ports on my television. I'm sure that's going to happen to some other people as well. If it doesn't happen to you, though, it's fine. Also doesn't include a power pack, so they give you a USB cord, but if your TV doesn't have a USB out or it's already in use, you're out of luck on this thing. For power, you're going to have to go use your phone's power or something else. I mean, those are cheap, but those little things add up. As far as the games go, I think the game collection's pretty good. I would have liked it a little bit better if some of the games weren't the NES versions. I'm getting a little bit tired of the whole let's repackage NES games thing. You can get like 300 NES games on a handheld now for $20. So it's becoming harder and harder to justify these things, even though they're nice and licensed and have a lot of features. And, I'm going to come back to those features. The features are really pretty good. The save function works well. Would have been nice if there was more than one save. But, hey, one save per game, that's okay for this because, they're very simple games. And the save function works really good. That rewind function is the only usable rewind function I've ever seen in one of these things. I mean, it actually works and can actually be utilized to save your life. Well, your game's life. Well, your character's life in your game. I don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway, it can actually be utilized, and that's pretty good. My other problem was anti-aliasing is on throughout the games, and it really kind of messes up the look and feel, especially on big screen TVs. You can really see it, and that kind of turned me off a bit. Personal choice, though. So, if you like that kind of thing, well, it's okay. The price is only about $20 at Walmart. So I think at $20, it can go either way. If you like what you've seen here, hey, give it your own personal thumbs up. For me, it's more of a thumb sideways, and some people that's going to be unbearable. So That's it. That's all I had to say. I can't make this decision for you. You're going to have to just look at the evidence and make it up for yourself. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more. And I'll see you in a couple days. Bye.